Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy number 103. This is for the week of April 8th, 2013. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who is with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Omar.
Bryce.
And Charlie.
Hello everyone. How are yous? All of yous.
Good, man.
Excellent.
Good, I'm holding on our fleas.
Yes, we got some swag from WonderCon. One of my guys sent up to us. What do you got?
I got the Guy Gardner or Fleas 2-pack, and then there was the New York Comic Con Jon Stewart and Atrocitus 2-pack. So
That's awesome.
now my little lantern figures are complete once again.
Oh,
The Jon Stewart one's cool because he's in the middle of blowing up Mogo. Spoiler alert.
What?
No, that's not true.
Well, he does have a gun.
Oh.
A construct gun.
yeah, it's a sniper gun.
Okay.
In the DC solicitations that went up today, besides a ton of action figures and statues, DC Direct is not, or DC Collectibles is not messing around. They put up the third Green Lantern battery, so green, yellow,
so far.
Yeah, green, yellow, and now orange for the full size, $200. Me and Charlie are doomed batteries.
So do you think they're picking the order based on which ones they can just repaint the color to solicit?
Probably,
Yeah.
because I thought, wasn't the orange one? No, I guess the orange one's standard. I guess red's different.
Red's different with the handle.
Yeah.
And blue's different. Not blue. I'm sorry. Indigo.
Yeah.
Indigo's different.
Is it,
Blue is slightly different. The
Is it?
lantern is slightly thinner. And then
so we should get black and white then
Yep.
first, because those are just repaints of the.
And more popular. I mean, the Indigo one's definitely going last, which I base that statement off of the fact that they're the lamest.
Well, the green and yellow right away made complete sense. I was expecting red to be next, since that was typically the next one that they'd push out. So I was a little surprised it was orange.
Yeah, green.
And then I just went, they're probably going the cheap route. Get out all the ones they can just push out first, and then...
I can make myself want the green one enough to not worry about it. Maybe yellow and maybe black. I don't know about the rest, though. We'll see. That's a lot of money. That's a
Come
lot.
on,
I don't know
just
what I'm
the
going to do with them.
symbol of the
How much are
orange
they?
one.
$200.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get the green one, because this is cool. This is the first time DC themselves have done a full size replica with ring and everything. Okay,
Well, all right.
I'll get the green one.
I'll buy it fucking $200 if it really gives me fucking flight powers. Okay.
That's why
I want to know what
That's
the
what it would
material is.
I could reserve an actual flight with an airline for $200.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want. I don't think I can do all.
I told
all
you you need to get all of them, and then you need to put them on those rock pillars like in Blackest Night Zero.
Yeah.
Out in your like little area outside and have it covered up. Because I would have done that with the Riddler trophies. They weren't
Hide 'em.
$400 each
hide them in your
in my backyard.
House. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Bryce,
That's adorable.
I heard.
Brody's just looking forward. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you get, Ryan?
I also got the Justice League number 1, Justice League America number 1, the Emerald City Comic Con variant, which I didn't know, and
that's
the
very exciting.
WonderCon variant.
What did what'd you hear?
No, I had I heard you have some words for Image Comics and eBay.
Oh, we're going to do it right now, right away.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Hey, why not? I agree. So yeah, I came to the store, and so first of all, I hear too late for those of us that don't read previews and aren't eBay whores. That Hickman, and I know that I'm a week or two or three too late, but Jonathan Hickman did this image book.
Well,
and,
let's.
Sorry.
Oh, and I was gonna say, no one cares about this shit until like literally the day before they come out. Once Diamond reports something sold out and it's on Bleeding Cool, that's when people start going crazy.
Oh,
Well,
see, that's
so
my fault for not
When you
reading
say
Bleeding Cool.
the masses, somebody, but honestly, there is someone that does care. The man's name is James Sime, and I went down to his shop and thinking this last weekend that he would still have him in the shop.
Yeah.
This is the one time where he doesn't still have, because he always over orders like Hickman or J.H. Williams or any of those kind of random books. Like he supports the indie guys because obviously he feels like he helped bring a lot of them in, which he obviously did. With different events and whatnot. But I went there and he said, "Oh, Omar, if you would have told me earlier," because I guess they had it was just GDC the last few weeks, and the whole team of like Team Kojima were there. And he's like, "Holy shit, this is way up your guys' alley." He pulled out the whole stack of books that he had left of East West, and he gave it to all the fucking development team.
Nice.
I was like, "Fuck, that's a cool story, but fuck."
That is a cool story.
Anyways,
Oh, bastard! But well done.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't read previews every week, and I don't read Bleeding Cool, and I don't know that the stuff is coming out until afterwards, and people are tweeting about how good it is. And then I see this East of West thing, and it's by Jonathan Hickman, who I love, and it's about the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse saving the world. Like, that fucking sounds amazing. But I don't know about it early enough to pre-order it, and so by the time it comes out, without having given Ryan a heads up, like, order another one, the eBay scalpers come in, apparently that's who it was, and they buy them all, and then they go and flip them for 3x the price because they're assholes, and I can't read this book. And I would only read the book because I want to, collect about 40 of them and then bind them. Excuse me, but but I love Hickman, and I love I haven't read it yet, but what the story seems to be about, and I'm sure that Hickman hasn't let me down yet, as far as I know. So I would fucking love to read it. But, Ryan can't maintain any sort of semblance of continuity with regards to his ordering because of the eBay bastards. And so I say to Ryan, how about this? How about I order guaranteed one of every number 1 Image book that comes out every month? How much would that run me? Just so that I could guarantee a place when random books like this hit that I could have my own. Sort of guaranteed. So yeah, I'll have to deal with some crap, but just in case a good one hits, I don't have to worry about the eBay scalpers. And he says, sometimes they come out with fucking 5 or 6 per week, and that's just not
no 5 or 6 per month.
Sorry, 5 or 6 per month. And that's just it's almost in my budget, but it's not in my budget to deal with so much crap, because there's a lot of crap for every East of West. Let's be real, how much crap is there? There's a lot. So I don't know. I'm stuck. I guess with my dick in my hand.
Not anymore, though.
Well, okay. So there's a part 2 to this story. And I would normally say tune in next week. So I'm ranting about this, and the guys, Omar, Charlie, Brock, and Ryan are like, oh, this fucking guy comes in and complains with the Chipotle burrito, drinking this beer.
You haven't even started eating.
Or drinking.
I've been drinking a little bit. I'll get to eating too. Anyway, so Charlie disappears, and I'm like, oh, Brock, this is garbage. And he's like, yeah, I know, it's not Marvel, so I like it. And Omar's like, what? I can't hear you because I'm drinking, and you should be drinking too. And I'm like, you're right. And then Ryan's like, it's my birthday, and I'm like, Ryan, enough about you. Okay.
Oh yeah.
By the way, stop talking about yourself, Ryan. Yeah, okay.
It's not my birthday now. My birthday was last week. But thank you very much.
Where's Charlie? Anyway, so Charlie comes up. Friend of the day, friend of the week, whatever, friend of the month, and hands me his East of West number 1, which he read through, and he says, you know what, Bryce? You are such a good friend of the podcast. This is what friends do, and he gives me his East of West number 1. Much love, Charlie, because Charlie's read it, but he's going to get the trade when it comes out because Charlie is a fine quality trade whore.
Well, that's okay. They'll get me to buy the trade, then they'll do the oversized hardcover, so I'll buy that.
Exactly. So really, everybody wins, except for the eBay bastards, which means that everybody wins. That's important. So anyway.
That's a cool story.
There's a big thread right now on the retailer forum where basically it's kind of private retailer forum, and everyone's like, we've had to limit every book that comes out, especially from Image. Like, everyone's had to have like a 1 or 2 copy minimum or maximum for titles because it's ridiculous. I mean, I've heard stories from every store that's on this forum. Oh yeah, guys will come up with a whole stack and try to buy them and flip them on eBay. It's like, man, okay, if you found like a Walking Dead number 1 first print on the shelf and you want to buy that for cover price and flip it for $2,000, okay, I get that. But really, East to West, it's a $4 book. After tax, you're talking $4.50, and a bagging board is
it's $3.50.
Oh, $3.50. Okay, so you're talking
Ryan's overcharging me.
Well, what I'm saying is, you're talking after time and bagging board and tax, and then if you're in California, a paper bag and all that shit, it's books costing you $5. What are you going to sell it on eBay for? 10, maybe, minus fees, minus PayPal, the shipping. Is all like, are people like? Are they just doing it because, I can make $1 or $2? Like, I don't get it. Like, what is the...
It's a fucking great question.
Yeah, I mean...
After you factor in the time that they spend doing it,
yeah.
What are they netting, like, $2? Hey, eBay, man, I'll give you $2. Don't be a fucking asshole.
I'll give you $2 and let me buy the book, right, off the shelf. Like, I don't get it. And, like, again, I could see, okay, you walk into a store, they got to run a Peter Panzerfaust. You want to flip that for $500-$600. More power to you, I guess. But, week comes out, like, are you holding on to these? And if you're holding on to them, we're right back in the 90s of speculation, and they're not buying number 2s, they're not buying number 3s, because those have higher print runs. Chew, as much as people flip out for those early issues, I sell the same amount of Chew at number 35 that I was selling at 5. Like, I sell like a dozen copies, and I sell a ton of the trades to people that want to read it. But it's bizarre that I don't get this mentality. It's the money is not there, so it.
Well,
and if you're banking on the next Walking Dead, you're wasting a lot of time and money. And these people are going to leave. These people are going to leave the industry. They're not going to continue. So when the next Hickman book comes out and I order 50 copies, I'm going to be stuck with 40 of them because everyone ordered 50.
Well, yes and no. I mean, so I'll order as many of these as I can for binding purposes.
No, I mean like the
puts me in the 1% of
the next series down the road because we've had 2. You know, Secret isn't worth anything. That was Hickman. That didn't move. No one cares about that book.
No
Manhattan Projects.
What is that?
First print of Manhattan Projects. Does that go for anything? Not really.
Manhattan Projects went for #1 for $50.
Yeah, but is it still?
One time.
Yes, it's still going.
Yeah.
I think it might have dropped down to 40.
Spawn #1 went for $50.
Yeah, exactly. And this East to West, this will be back down the cover price in a few months when the next book is out. So I just
but that's the thing. It's you see the spectator eBay crowd for anything. Like, you remember when the PlayStation 3 first came out?
Sure.
There were literally people going gaga, going from like store to store, offering to buy people's PS3s they just bought for like $100 over, because they felt like they could flip it on eBay for $200 more, and a lot of them got screwed with that mentality with the PS3 specifically.
Okay, yeah, ones are selling for first prints are selling for $25. Graded ones are selling for like $150. But people are getting like $50 for 1 through 5 first prints. So
for what, Manhattan?
For Manhattan Project.
Yeah, it's dropped down.
Yeah,
but to me, what it really comes down to is
I just want to read the fucking book.
A lot of this stuff is pre-selling on eBay for decent amounts before it's even hit the shelf, before any it's that sort of pre-sale speculation before the book's even been read.
Yeah, look, here's some guy sold 5 copies of East of West #1 for $36. You figure, unless this is a retailer, they paid, what for 5? That's like $18, $20.
$17.50.
So they're netting, $20 minus fees. Okay, I guess if you really need $15 that bad, like, what's the point?
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I mean, and if you're doing this across hundreds of books a week, I mean, maybe, but at that point, just open a Diamond account, and become a retailer, and just sell on the side.
Well, then they get flamed by you on Twitter.
Well, yeah, that's different. But fuck, at least you get 50% off your half off, and then you can order 100 copies if you want. You don't have to go to the store.
No, it's a fucking great call.
If the dirty side of comics didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So how about getting dirty?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've told you, Ryan, that, to kind of curb the speculation, if you know that something's going to be like that, then just pull it off the shelves and do what you did with Batman Incorporated #8. If somebody comes up and goes, "Oh, do you have it for what? Is that book that's up on eBay?" "Oh, yeah." "Well, how much is it going for?" And if they tell them that's the price.
They don't want it. If I tell them it's $20, they're not going to buy it. They'll only buy it if it's cover price because they want to flip it for $20.
Exactly. Yeah. But then you get rid of then that cuts out all your douchebags.
Yeah.
Or you just look it up on eBay for them real quick and go, yeah, it's that price now.
No, that's exactly what my friend Herb does over at Comics and Cards Central. My homies, back when I lived in outer Richmond and SF for many years. What he does is on all those #1s that it comes out, he just holds them on the back.
Yeah.
And then they come. He knows who the people are that come and flip them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that also what he does, well, he knows who they are, and then also some of the customers ask, "Oh yeah, are you into books? Are you into stories? Are you into?" They want to sell more to trades. They want to sell trades. Obviously, trades do well for the store, but for people that really are, if they want to get into stories, because obviously the monthlies, it's all about the monthlies, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he goes, "Okay, let me check out what the price is right now," and he goes to eBay and checks out the last 5 sold or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the market price right now.
Yeah. Well, I told you with Peter Panzerfaust. Did I tell the story on the podcast? There was a guy.
You did. I would fucking love to read Peter Panzerfaust too. It sounds like a fucking great concept, but I can't read it now.
Charlie, I want to read it too. Charlie, I want to read #1. Peter Panzer.
Charlie.
Well, so I had a guy that was here, and he was like, "Oh, hey, I'm looking for some early issues of Peter Panzerfaust." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. That's a great book." Well. I go, clearly they're also that long out of print, but I have the trade paperback. It's $10, and I'll tell you what, money back guarantee. You don't like it, I'll give you your money back, cash. Oh well, I kind of just, I sort of just wanted the single issues. Fuck off.
I'm telling you.
Ryan.
I'm telling you, all you need to do to these people.
Ryan, one,
well, that's what I always tell them. I'm like, oh, what do you think of the last issue? Oh, did you like it? What do you think of the writer? What about that other book he did? What's the name of it? What's the artist's name again? I can't remember. I don't fucking know.
No, you just need a price match. That's it.
Yeah,
just price match.
eBay price match. I'm sorry. This says $3.99, but it's actually $14.50.
Exactly.
Plus eBay fees. So let's call it $18.
Exactly. Just price match to eBay. That way we can get rid of these speculators and bullshit. Because I mean, you have customers that come in that are who your customers are. You know the ones that are going to be interested in this title, the ones that are not going to be sitting there flipping everything.
And I'll jump a few times. So I've just been caught so many times recently with this bullshit that I'm just going to try to play the game for a little while and see if it works out for me. Walking Dead 109 that comes out this week, I have a ton coming. Batman and Robin 19 that comes out this week. I have my normal number and then a very large reorder coming that should be here in a couple days. So sure, I'll try it. If it sells more comics, excellent. If I can, flip a few later on eBay for money, okay, fine. I guess that's a store prerogative. That's cool. And if I get people to come in and want to buy 50 copies, yeah, okay. But it's going to catch up with everyone because everyone's doing it. That every store is going to have all these copies, and then no one's going to care. People are pre-selling the Walking Dead sketch cover on eBay right now, or this black and white cover on eBay. Or I'm sorry, not even a black and white cover. It's just a blank cover. It's a pure white cover like Marvel and DC does. They're going like $10-15 for it. This book comes out on Wednesday, and it's just a regular cover price. I don't think I have a ton coming, and I don't think people are going to pay $10 for them after it comes out. But I'll put them up. I'll see. You never know. Whatever. I guess.
Does something big happen? And don't spoil anything.
Supposedly.
Okay.
So, out of curiosity, do you feel these ones that are currently selling on eBay are actually from stores, or people who are just trying to get them up because they'll just go hit the stores on Wednesday morning?
That's a good question. I would
go to
guess most of them are people that are pre-selling, and a few of them are stores. I mean, I looked at a few of the names, and they didn't look like stores. They look like people are just pre-selling them.
Could some of them be those people that have diamond accounts but no store?
Possibly.
Ooh.
Possibly.
See, the only time I wish I had a diamond account and no store is to get in on the Superman Unchained variant chain.
Oh, man. So I got hold on. Let's read some Twitter questions here.
Fucking Superman Unchained. Did you get my tweet back, Ryan?
Let's read some Twitter questions here. So I got one from Bryce Larsen.
Wait, says, not a question.
Who says, you clown on Marvel all the time about this.
Clown on Marvel. You clown on Marvel.
I clown on Marvel all the time about this being, and we'll talk about it in a second, but when DC does it, it's just cute, quote unquote. Read, you don't clown. So what Bryce is talking about here in this epic tweet, DC has Superman Unchained coming out, which they solicited for number 1. With it's got like a 1 in 300 cover, 1 in 200 cover, 1 in 100 cover, 1 in 75, 1 in 50, 1 in 25, white cover.
No, what I found fascinating is they had like 2 different covers at the 1 in 25.
Yeah,
they had 2 different covers at the 1.
So then they solicit number 2, which is the final solicitations came out today. They have 10 covers for number 2.
Can you put me down for the one that shows him with a cowboy hat and a black wife that he's going to save, and he's a slave? And
Jesus, yeah. It's like, okay, DC, I guess. But honestly, Bryce, when was the last time you heard me bitch about Marvel and covers? Like, whatever. It's over. It doesn't matter anymore.
When's the last time? How about the fact that I can't live down Uncanny Avengers number 1?
That's the one.
Which was the last time, which was like, what was that, 4 months ago, 5 months ago? And you're like, oh, it would have been my greatest selling issue of 2012, except that there were so many variants. That was my Ryan voice impersonation. Okay. I'm not sure it sounded just like
him.
And
I went all in.
But every time there was like a caveat, like, oh, if it wasn't for fucking all of Marvel's variants, they would have sold not so many. It's only because of the variants. Only because of the oh, DC Unchained, how cute. Oh my God, Superman. Oh, there's going to be 10 variants.
That's a better Ryan voice right there. Yeah. That's actually a better Ryan voice. Well, yeah. That's his excited DC voice.
It's fucking bullshit, because Uncanny Avengers does it, which was like, has been a good book.
But the problem with a lot of the Marvel ones is to get the variants isn't 1 in 10, 1 in 25. It's you must order a percent amount over.
No, I don't know about that, and I don't care about that. I'm just saying that when Marvel does it, Ryan's like, ugh, those fucking assholes. And when Superman Unchained comes out, he's like, oh, this is so silly.
Marvel's done it a bunch, and then when they went all out with the Marvel Now stuff, I bitched a little bit around Uncanny Avengers, and then after that I'm like, well, you're doing it for every book, so I guess I'm gonna go in all when I can go in, and most of the books between us or another store, we were able to get most of the variants, so I'm fine. People love them, people want them, they make me money, that's totally fine. I don't care. That's something I'm totally done bitching about, because it is the way it is, and that's what's happening going forward.
I know. To me it's just, Superman Unchained comes out about when the movie comes out, and it's Scott Snyder and Jim Lee.
Yeah, sure.
I'm like, I'll buy 10 copies of that book just to hand it out to people.
Yeah, if there's a book.
Well, that's a lie.
Yeah.
You're not buying 10 copies to hand it to people. If you're buying 10 copies, it's to flip on eBay.
Why would I flip it on eBay?
Well, because you're not going to spend $4 per book and hand it out.
I said it's $5, right?
Yeah, it's like
$4.99. Well, because it has
my point is, nobody's handing out $5 bills.
Were you handing out Uncanny Avengers? Oh wait, you did when it was only $1 in the dollar bin like 2 weeks later.
I have no comebacks because.
By the way, I want the digital combo pack on that for $5.99
because Marvel's better.
So we have a question here from Stefano who says,
Stefano,
why do trade paperbacks take so long to come out, specifically with DC? To the point of trade catch-up being impossible. Example, Flash Volume 2, which just got solicited, which is 1 through 12, was not going to be out till August 2013.
Yeah, that's a great question. That should be their number one requirement. And Charlie, Trade Paperback King, should back everyone up.
He's the hardcover king.
Well, hold on.
King.
And I'll tell you why.
Right,
why DC, unless they find some way to do this, is kind of caught in a weird bind. Because they had 52 books come out in the same month. They can't have 52 trade paperbacks out in the same month.
Yeah,
they have to make the trades.
They have to stagger.
They have to stagger the trades over a 6-month time period. So unless they basically flip it, so like Flash Volume 2 comes out in August and Flash Volume 3 comes out in July or September.
Because if you can break it down into 3-month breaks.
Well, Flash
and then
is
4 weeks every month.
Flash is
know what your top 3 selling trades are gonna be.
Yeah,
but put those out in the first month.
No, but they don't. No, because you don't want that. Because you don't want 2 or 3 months of just garbage trades coming out. There's like Green Lantern and Justice League 1 month.
You fucking mix it up. You know what your best-selling ones are. You have Superman and Batman, and then the 2 shit ones come out that first month, and then whatever. You break it down.
It's like 2 a week, basically.
I think the thing with Flash is Flash came out in hardcover first. So whenever they come out in hardcover, that delays the softcover release. Flash came out in hardcover.
Oh, yeah, it did.
So whenever you have a book that comes out in hardcover for DC, that delays the softcover even more.
Well, what they've been doing is they've been putting out the softcover when the second hardcover comes out.
Yeah,
which should be 6 months apart.
Yeah.
So if you want trade paperback, you're basically a year off of release. Which,
that sucks.
And in DC's defense, one of the reasons I think their trades, at least for us, have often done better is because, I feel by the time the trade comes out, enough time has passed. One of the things I always complained about Marvel is I would have the book still on the shelf when the trade paperback came out, and to me that would cannibalize those sales. I could still be selling the single issues. The trade paperback readers, I find, tend to be much more casual and can just buy it whenever. And even if there's bad hype around a story or good hype, a lot of that sort of dies down. By the time the trade comes out, it's sort of like, oh, and now it's out again. Whereas, when you see a movie and the DVD is out 3 or 4 weeks later, it's like, well, I just saw this. Yeah. But if you're like a year later or 6 months later, you're like, oh yeah, it's enough time has passed. You've maybe forgotten some of it, and now I'll rebuy the trade, and now I'll grab it again.
And
it's always, but DC is some of their stuff is a little closer. Which I'm fine either way. But I think to me that has always been the reason why I've liked DC's keeping their trades a little bit later. So, but
I was going to say the flip side of that is also very true. In the way that, so there are definitely some movies I don't bother going to see in the theater at this point because I can just wait a month or two and boom, I now have the Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy pack of everything all together, and I definitely prefer it that way.
Well, I mean, I know you've enjoyed Marvel releasing their hardcovers with the digital.
Well, I do like the fact they've started that, and I mean, realistically, as much as I bitch and complain sometimes about certain sizes on the hardcovers and that kind of stuff, I do appreciate the fact that, like, the Daredevil oversized hardcover just came out a little while ago. It's got the first 2 trades in it. It's not something I had to wait a huge amount of time between, like, I want to say it was a month or 2 after the second trade came out, the hardcover came out. It was pretty quick. So you kind of get into this mentality of every year I'm going to get one of these nice hardcovers, and Image is kind of the same way with like the Invincible hardcovers and that kind of stuff. It's almost like an annual thing at this point.
Yeah.
Well, they did a great job with Saga. They released the first hardcover so that you could catch up in time for number 7, and that was a little different because they had a break in between.
Image does softcover first most of the time. Like most of the time, they go softcover first. And then the hardcover is normally a collected 2 soft covers.
And oversized.
Well, specifically with Saga, too, every issue had sold out.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even a question of availability. It was like, well, they were gone. We have to get the trade out. So with that, in that case, I'm fine.
And as you said, to give super props to Saga, they also made the first trade extremely affordable to get more readers, to be able to get more readers in for number 7.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the books that... The stories, like, of the last year and a half. How long has it been out now?
What's that?
About a year
Saga?
and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half. Like, everybody that I know that is, like, even somewhat into comics
not
casually,
even a year.
A year?
No, barely a year.
They took a break.
They're on issue 10, but they only took a break for like a month or 2.
Yeah,
they took at least 2 months off.
Yeah, so
at least 2 months off.
That'd be 12 months.
So everyone...
By my math, 12 plus 1 equals 16, Ryan.
Okay.
At least 16, maybe 18.
I'm on it.
Yeah, so good job on that. Was it Vaughn?
Yeah, BKV, baby.
Yeah.
And Fiona Staples coming out of nowhere.
Fiona Staples is incredible. I just love that. I remember when they were hyping that up during, was it Image Expo, that BKV was chilling there with a big old shiner, and I was like, dude, what the fuck happened to your eye? And he's like, oh.
God. I really hope they do that to Image Expo again.
That was fun.
Yeah,
that was
I heard a lot.
Old school con.
I'm mad I missed it. I heard a lot of really good things about it. We got 2 questions here that sort of answer each other. We got one here from Heroes and Villains. It's a podcast, and they're listening to our podcast. That's very nice. It says, can you recommend any indie superheroes? I'm sorry, other than Invincible or Spawn, and I wouldn't recommend Spawn. And then I got another question from Ryan Yu, who asks, hey, Ryan, hello, I'm also Ryan. Do you know anything about the new Valiant books, and do they sell well? And I think that is a perfect answer to the very first question of indie superhero recommendations, because the Valiant books are, with maybe only one exception, all really good.
What's the exception?
I don't really like Harbinger.
I like Harbinger.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's just the one I have not gotten into. I don't know. But I wasn't really big in the Harbinger the first time around either. So,
Harbinger is definitely the one that's taken a little bit longer to first, like.
It got me into it pretty quickly.
The first story got me into it, but I think for the characters that we know from Harbinger, like you read the first Harbinger trade, the original, and it's like wham! You're like everybody's in the story. You're going boom.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like not everybody's in the story at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so it takes longer to build. Like the second story arc is where you start getting the team together.
Yeah.
So
for me, for the store, Vertigo is the
Valiant.
Valiant. Vertigo. Valiant is the third highest consistent seller of comics for me, because it's Marvel and DC are roughly the same, and Valiant. Image has a couple books that sell tons of copies, but most of them sell 0 to 2 copies. Yeah. Same, Boom Studios is a couple. Valiant, for us, is pretty across the board, pretty even issue to issue. All of them sell well, and all of them sell double digits, and it's a good company. I mean, we have a lot of hardcore fans for it.
Dark Horse Star Wars books, really?
No, I don't sell many Star Wars books.
Really?
At all. Other than the main book, I sell like six, maybe 7 copies of any of these Star Wars books.
More DC than Marvel. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No. So, which?
Because most Dark Horse books I sell 0 to 2 copies of. Right.
Okay.
Star Wars I sell a few.
Right, but if we're not averaging,
right? I'm just saying
what
average.
Third label other than Big Two? What third label makes you the most money? Is it Image or is it Valiant? What makes you the most money? I don't know if you can tell us.
Great, you got him doing math. He's got his math face on now.
But that math face, I hope that Leanne never sees.
It may be Valiant over Image. Because really, Image only has... Are you saying that for the podcast, or are you being real? No. I could go through a list. No. I guess it would still be Image. There's 2 Image books that sell well for us. That's Saga and Walking Dead. And Saga sells like twice Walking Dead numbers for us, so that's crazy. There are a couple other books that sell well, but most Image books are 4, 6, 8 copies.
Nobody...
Right, but I
personally am not interested in the average. I understand maybe the average for Dark Horse. That's another great question. Are they 4th or are they 5th?
Dollar amount would be Image and then Dark Horse.
Well, I'm more interested in your net, because obviously you have to put in your own investment.
Well, IDW would be up there too. IDW sells a lot as well. But again, most books sell little. A few books sell a lot.
So the third place book that's netting dollars for you is Image.
Yeah.
Well, I think that. Sorry, Charlie. Out of the store, Valiant probably sells per title better than every title, even like Marvel, DC, like overall.
Well,
like
per title.
Well, they only have what? 4 books?
But
no, they have like
5.
8 books.
They have 5.
Well, they're gonna have a bunch more.
Well, they're gonna have a bunch more, but right now it's just Archer Armstrong, Bloodshot, Harbinger, Shadowman.
Yeah,
X-O Man of War.
And
then the Harbinger Wars mini.
But that's a mini.
But each one of those sells a fair amount of copies each.
Yeah, they sell a very consistent amount between all of them. Yeah,
but they've all been really good.
And they did the same thing with the reasonable price first trade. It's like 4 issues for $10.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Image is not putting out any superhero stuff anymore other than Invincible. They'll put out a couple, but their days of superhero parody style.
What is Manhattan Project? It's totally a superhero book.
You know what I mean.
Totally not.
Well, whatever.
There's no
I'm going to just give it up for The Tick.
Yeah.
There you go. The Tick. The Tick is a good indie superhero. There you go.
The only superhero stuff.
What title or what label is he with? I don't even know.
New England.
Yeah, New England Comics is the name of the company.
So he's not even...
He's indie.
Top 5...
No, they publish one thing.
Yeah, the only thing they publish is The Tick.
Occasionally.
And that's not even monthly.
No, it's not even yearly. It's
they had a live action movie, didn't they?
No, live action TV show only.
Oh, TV series.
And cartoon.
Which was awesome with Putty from Seinfeld.
Putty.
Yeah.
It was the same exact character.
It was the same character. Hey, Ryan, can we spice this up a bit? This is currently the most boring podcast that we've had in a long time.
Excellent.
Okay. Liven it up for us, baby.
All right. I'll do my Brian Michael Bendis impression. This is from Walzo. He asks, you can distinguish artists by their style, but how do you do that with writers? And I call it the Brian Michael Bendis, tick. Every writer, you can tell these guys by their writing style if you've read enough of them. You can tell a Jeff Johns book versus a Grant Morrison book versus a Brian Michael Bendis book. Not saying everyone, and not saying every issue, but some of these guys you can really
Brian
tell.
Michael Bendis, Luke Cage is in it.
Yeah.
Jeff Johns has something to do with the color green. Morrison, if you're lost like every few pages, it's Morrison.
That's hilarious. I almost always disagree with you, but that's totally accurate.
I mean, that's what it is. Snyder, just fucking good all the way through.
Nah.
I don't know Snyder well enough. But
take his balls out of your mouth, bro. Oh. Snyder's good. He's not that good.
Oh.
See, in a weird way...
And Johns doesn't always have the color green. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, in a weird way, there tends to be a consistent voice that you will... Like, if you don't pay attention to writers for a couple of years and just read a bunch of books and you go back to go, I was really into who wrote this. I was really into it. You'll notice certain names like Mark Waid for the weirdest time. Just like I talk about how much I love Kingdom Come, and I've loved Kingdom Come forever, but my brain always went straight to Alex Ross with Kingdom Come. My brain wouldn't even make room for the writer for a long time with Kingdom Come. And then just all of a sudden, my brain just one day became aware of Mark Waid, and all of a sudden it's like everything I was picking up is like, Mark Waid wrote that, Mark Waid wrote that, Mark Waid wrote that. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I should really be giving Mark Waid a lot more props than I have been.
Well, you are now.
Yeah, yes, I am. But I just find that, especially going through my comic collection as it is, the stuff that I've tended to hold on to, I'll see a lot of familiar names creep up.
That's why everybody should bind their comic books, because you go through and you cut up all these old books. Dude, I was cutting up a couple weekends ago, Thunderbolts. You know how many great writers were on Thunderbolts? I mean, Hickman was on an issue or two. I mean, Warren Ellis. I mean, I know that a lot of people probably don't like Fabian. I don't even know how the fuck to pronounce the last name. Nicesia.
It started by Kirby. It started by Kirby Sec, and then Fabian Nicieza took over.
Yep. And who else? Christos Gage did a run. Like all these fucking writers that I love were on Thunderbolts. Like what the fuck? I just collected it because Ryan had them all in his dollar bin. It was easy to collect, but there's a lot of good stuff there. Yeah. But you don't know it until you go through and you cut them up and oh shit! Hope this isn't worth anything. Well,
that can be said, yes, but there's also you find stuff that you're like, John. What was that indie book I found that Johns wrote?
The Possessed.
The Possessed.
Yeah, he did a book for Wildstorm. He wrote a graphic novel for Humanoids, I think. So yeah, he's done some indie work. Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff for Marvel, so not just DC only. Mm-hmm. Charlie, you said you read. Anyone else read? You read Swamp Thing? You read the new Swamp Thing? The
like last week's?
Yeah, the non-Snyder one.
No, I didn't.
Okay, Charlie, you read it?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think of it?
It was good. I liked it. I liked all the sort of.
We brought up Snyder was off, so
I guess.
Or we brought up Snyder. Now Snyder is off Swamp Thing. What did you think?
You can tell it is no longer Snyder writing it. It is a very different sort of feel to the writing style, but it was still very enjoyable, and I like the sort of direction they're taking the Swamp Thing character, sort of struggling to find that balance between humanity and his. God damn it, I hate it when I can't find the right word, but basically his connection to the green, his responsibility to the green, I guess.
Sure.
So, no, it was good. I liked it. I like the fact that he's struggling with that. It makes it an interesting story.
Nice.
He doesn't have antlers anymore?
No.
Oh, cool.
No antlers this issue.
While we're talking about great comics, let's talk about Marvel. How about this last week in Marvel?
How does that even segue?
Oh, God.
I mean, it just
Age of Ultron
bad.
4.
Oh, yeah. Age of Ultron 4 was great.
Great book.
It was.
Yeah. Much respect. All New X-Men continues to be amazing.
That's
Yep.
good.
And then,
Thanos Rising, good first issue.
Thanos Rising, everybody but Brock, shockingly.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm not
very
a big
much
fan of the
enjoyed.
art.
Oh, well, Simon Bianchi disagrees with you.
Oh, man.
I think a lot of people disagree with you.
Well,
that's fine.
Simon Bianchi, whenever you go to his lines and see people try to sign, his shit's out the door.
Okay.
And usually it's hot-ass bitches.
Okay, hold on.
Well, he's Italian, he has long hair, and it's all fucking swirly like Jerry curl and shit. He's the only Jerry Curl motherfucker that's not black that's getting hella bitches.
I'll give Brock
wow.
this. I don't really care too much about Simon Bianchi's kid Thanos, but you know the next 4 issues are going to rock the house. He's an amazing artist.
You are fucking totally wrong. I was just telling Brock and Omar, if anybody loves an irreverent teenager more than Ryan Higgins, it is nobody. So, irreverent teenager Thanos, Ryan Higgins, I'm fucking shocked that you didn't like that way more. This is fucking Quentin Quire.
No,
this is Damian Wayne. This is with a fucking amazing artist.
And his eyes were all fucking. You could tell he's like in his head.
Death.
His eyes are just in his head, and he's just like you don't even know what he's thinking. You can't read him.
His eyes were death. I don't want to kill these lizards, motherfucker. I'm gonna kill these lizards.
This issue felt like the 2009 Star Trek movie, the Spock plot. Just instead of going calm and rational, he went totally fucking crazy at the end and killed everything. So it's like I kind of, but
I know about 5% of your listeners got that reference.
I'm 5%. Sure everyone did.
Can you get a better?
Charlie, did you get the reference?
What the fuck you're talking about.
I'm so glad I didn't fucking get you that Star Wars shirt. First of all, it wasn't black and white, so.
Can you use a reference that most people understand?
Did you not see Star Trek? The
2009 movie? There's been a Star Trek movie, I feel like every other year for the past my entire life.
There was like.
You're pretty accurate, too.
He said the Star Trek.
I know it's not that much really. I'm just saying, like,
he was accurate. There hasn't been one in like 4 years.
Yeah.
No, the last 2 have been amazing, but
there's only been
is
one.
that what you're talking about? The J.J. Abrams
there's
one?
going to be this one finally.
Okay, I didn't know that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time ago.
Yeah,
I didn't. Okay,
we've only had one Star Trek movie since that.
Calm down.
Or we've had 0.
I didn't realize that it. Okay.
The one that comes out this year.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like back in the 90s when they were just like, oh, what do we fucking do?
It was like Nemesis Generations.
Yeah, Generations.
Like, let's just
the Borg
randomly
one.
put out some.
All right, I'm sorry. Could you please repeat your, now that everybody knows that it was the good Star Trek?
Don't you remember Spock's whole thing when he's on the planet, when he's a kid and he's growing up, and he's he's different. And, when he's a kid, and he's doing all this stuff.
That's a great example.
It feels like the same plot, just instead of going Starfleet, he went mass murdering rampage at the very end. So, but no, it was a good first issue. It's just
there's still time for little Spock.
What next issue will be? Teenager, adult Thanos. I don't picture Thanos ever as a kid, so it really weirded me out.
Well,
the art's incredible.
Because it's hard to picture Thanos as a kid.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of kids, isn't it just kind of disappoint you that fucking Bran is already going through puberty and shit? You guys watching Game of Thrones, right? I'm like, fuck! I'm like, damn, you sounded so cool and innocent before, and now you're like all,
hold on.
I watched it at the end of the season, and I Netflixed it. Can we talk about this later?
Charlie laughed.
Not comic book related, however, Bran grew like a foot.
Dude, he's hella big.
Okay, hold on.
But he's the crippled kid?
Yeah, but he's
still the crippled.
But he's still like the same body shape or whatever. Yeah. Joffrey grew like a foot and a half.
I hate Joffrey.
Everyone does. Sansa grew like 9 feet in this from this last season. Like she is gigantic.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like, what are they feeding him in Westeros? Like, what is going on?
I know, that's the next diet, is the Westeros diet. Yeah. You just grow.
Has she grown width-wise or just height-wise?
No, she's fucking like 9 feet tall.
Is she filling out okay?
She's fine, but I mean, she's really tall.
Just because she's a ginger, right?
I'm trying to box him into an awkward corner where he has to say something about a woman and her boobies.
She is very tall. She's very tall. And Joffrey is very tall. And Bran is very tall. And he's got he's totally changed.
What about Peter Dinklage, you asshole?
He's still the same.
Yeah, he's still there. He's still right about there.
He's got a cool scar now.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, no more Game of Thrones stuff.
Why?
This is the Game of Thrones podcast.
Isn't IDW? Don't they write a book?
Nope.
That's Dynamite does that.
That's Geekbox. This is comics.
Yeah.
We can talk about Game of Thrones. They do have a comic.
Nope.
Okay, well, we'll go one last question here from Mark. Before we only have a couple things to talk about here. So, Mark asks, don't remember if we talked about it. I think we did, but we'll bring it up again. Have we liked Injustice, the Injustice storyline from the comic, which I have not been reading.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for the game.
I've been really enjoying it. I haven't read it digitally. So, do you read digitally, Charlie? Or just print?
I just the print. The only thing I'm reading digitally is Little Gotham.
Okay. No, I've been really enjoying it. A buddy of mine actually picked up all the digital issues, and he really loves it. He's actually really looking forward to the game because of it.
Yeah, I can't wait to play the game. It looks fun.
All my Clicks homies, they're just like, again, 50-50 read books, but more of them because of them coming here and everything. They're surrounded by it. They've been picking up some weeklies. I think didn't Javi start a box with you, or was it Josh? No,
I don't think so.
Josh.
Oh, yeah. They did. Yeah.
Well, the glasses. Yeah. He was here last week.
Yeah.
I think he was here on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're all like that storyline. Well, not the comic, but the video game is drawing them more into all the subplot stories because of all the skins and upgrades. Like, they're like, there was a Black Lantern Batman? What is that? Because they found out there was one from HeroClix, but there's like, it's actual storyline. Yeah, it's this actual storyline. Check out Black as Night.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have Red Sun Superman too.
GameStop has that one.
Yeah,
for pre-order.
That's okay. I'm tempted to wait for the Game of the Year edition that will come out a year from now and have all the DLC.
We didn't talk about this though. Holy shit, we are gonna get Flashpoint.
Yes.
Oh, the movie.
Yes. That came out at Emerald. Was it Emerald City or?
No.
WonderCon. They announced the release date and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's going to be showing at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Flashpoint, but it is a Flash-based, a DC universe-based story involving the Flash.
The story synopsis sounds like it's Flashpoint, whether or not it's going to have the same ramifications or whatnot.
Death rate.
However, can you imagine if the end of it was actually the alteration of the DC direct-to-DVD quote-unquote universe?
That's what I'm hoping for.
And everything going forward is New 52?
That's what I'm hoping for.
That means
we don't want that to happen. We want Red Sun Superman.
We can get Court of Owls. We can get Death of the Family.
With Bruce Timm leaving the DC animation side, I find it funny that they've had this sort of rule of, no, we're only going to put out Batman and Superman stuff, and now this new guy in charge talking, no, we're going to use Batman and Superman as a launching point to get more of these characters out
Smart.
there.
Very smart. Well, it's funny, too, because DC, they're pretty aggressive with their direct sales on the web.
Sure.
And all the characters now that they're highlighting, before it was always the Trinity, now they're doing just mainly Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, and Batman. There's I think 3 new shirt styles I saw that came out that's just directed around that. So,
well, they have I don't think we talked about this last week. It was after we talked about it, or after we recorded. But they're releasing a I believe 7 auctions based around their We Could Be Heroes charity initiative, and it's based around Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, I believe Aquaman, and Justice League.
Huh.
So there's 7 different ones that they're doing, and they had the Batman one, with a bunch of different prizes, and every month or every 45 days or something, they're going to do a new charity. And you get signed books. I got the Jeff Johns, Gary Frank signed Earth One hardcover. I bought that on there. So
does it also have an exclusive cover on that one?
It has an exclusive cover on that. There's an exclusive Jim Lee cover for Superman Batman #1 on there. If you got $10,000, you could hang out with Jeff Johns and Gary Frank at San Diego for the weekend. If you want
at Comic-Con.
At Comic-Con.
Comes with the Comic-Con ticket and all that.
I so know what I'm kickstarting tonight.
Kickstarter to help you pay for an Indiegogo pledge.
Exactly.
So I'm curious, because
I'm just dreading when they do the Green Lantern one.
Well, when they did one, I was like, cool, and I'm like, oh, you're doing 7? Oh no, no, I bought one, and I'm like, oh god, I hope the rest of them kind of suck.
Yeah.
And they're auctioning off the cars that they've done at San Diego.
That's awesome.
So
that's incredible.
That's going to bring in a ton of money because those are one of a kind designer cars. So. Well, sorry, Bryce, not to be too DC-centric here for the rest of the episode.
No problem. I needed a break.
I'm sure somebody will sell you a spider buggy.
Well, I got 2 more DC stories here for you, so let me see what you think of this, guys.
By the way, dispel this fucking rumor. I like DC. I just don't like it as much.
Okay, you're going to dispel that rumor when I dispel the rumor that I hate Marvel.
Dude, do not.
But you do.
Fucking compare me and my love for DC, but not as much for Marvel as your actual disdain for Marvel.
You're saying love, but it's actually just like.
You know what kind of sucks though? We had recently at a Marvel.
We
had a Marvel versus DC event last Friday, and it was HeroClix, and Marvel just fucking destroyed DC.
Yeah, because Marvel's better than DC.
The characters are just so overpowered. Like
that was not always the case. So this is a bad forum to bring that up in.
Well, I'm bringing it up.
Good.
I mean, it was like 15 games versus like 5. Like it was just ridiculous.
# Marvel rules.
So DC has an article that ran on, it was the New York Post. This was last week after we recorded, so everyone probably already knows about it now. But in Batman and Robin #19 that comes out this week, we are possibly getting the reveal of the new Robin, who is Carrie Kelly from Dark Knight Returns, being brought into real modern official continuity, which is really random. Yes. I don't know what to think about this. Like, cool, I guess. That's awesome.
I just don't want Batman's suit to come from Dark Knight.
I don't know.
Suit's awesome in Dark Knight.
For Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Not the rest of the Batman universe.
Oh, whatever. But no, like, Carrie Kelly is a neat character. She's been in, 7 issues, right? Mm-hmm. 4 Dark Knight, 3 Dark Knight Strikes Back. So, yeah, okay, that's neat, I guess. It's not Harper Row. It's not that other chick from Batman Inc. It's not, spoiler. It's, okay, Carrie Kelly. Sure, why not? That's neat.
I have no problem with bringing her in for an issue of her trying to be Robin.
Yeah.
But it's way too early to replace Damian.
Well, what's weird, too, is she's supposed to be, in her 20s. So she's not a kid. So that's even weirder.
It's way too early to replace Damian with anybody.
Let alone, let's be honest here, Carrie Kelly, her fucking character design was based on being a redhead girl, Babs, plus Gordon's big-ass fucking goggles. I think that character design was made back in the 80s.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a little.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I gotta see it to believe it.
She's got that. She's got that. She's got the Robin shorts. She's got the short cut, frizzy hair. She's got
the Robin shorts.
She's got the big. She's got the big Asian girl glasses on and stuff like that. So it's a little more modern take on the character, but
I might like it if she has camel toe.
Jeez.
Well, that's inappropriate, Omar.
So
let me ask you a question.
Or whale tail.
You went there. You fucking went there. Sick.
So how many Robins have we had now in the past decade?
In the past decade?
In the past, well, let's call it less than a decade.
Are you talking?
I mean, you went the first
universe?
4 decades with one Robin.
We're like in the 21st century right now.
You went the next 2 decades with one more Robin. And now in the past decade, you've had 3 Robin. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, it seems like there's a fucking huge ramp up of Robins.
Hold on.
Let's go through the flock.
Hold on. You had Jason Todd, Jesus Christ,
Wow.
can't even start this off right.
I fucking own a comic book store.
I always get my Robins all confused. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
I got to separate them all in my head. Okay, you got Dick Grayson until 84.
So what was that?
85.
What was that? 50 years?
40 to 85. So 40, 45 years roughly, because he quit when he was in the Teen Titans.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, Jason Todd for 5 years, maybe 6.
So 5 years is not a lot.
It wasn't very long. No, it was a fairly short period because it was just pre-crisis.
And then Tim Drake for a fucking while.
It was pre-crisis till Death in the Family.
No, he was fucking great.
Tim Drake came in around 90, and he was Robin until 2000. I want to say 3, maybe.
Yeah. So according to my calculations, that's the past
20 years.
decade.
That was about 20 years. 22 years. Plus, you had.
Wait, you said 2003.
Like 1990 to about 2003.
Right. But since 2003,
roughly some in that range. Well, then you had Stephanie Brown, who was around for about a year.
Yeah.
And then
Damien,
who came in
and now this fucking new person.
05?
And I feel like they're suffering
Stephanie, then back to Tim, then
back to Tim, and then he became Red Robin.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not saying
Cassandra
like,
Cain wasn't Robin ever.
Foul play. I'm just saying
she was always Batgirl.
Yeah, Cassandra Cain was Batgirl.
This is like
Stephanie Brown.
How many people can we resurrect that were dead? I feel like it's suffering from Green Lantern. It's like there was one.
Wait, Huntress was Robin. You got to count the New 52 stuff.
Well, she's Earth 2 Robin, and
she's Earth 2 Robin.
But that's where I was saying alternate universe. If you start bringing an alternate universe,
but it's not alternate universe. It's all New 52.
Ooh,
well,
you just
that's
got
still
Omar.
multiple realities.
Isn't everything multiple realities?
Yeah, because
that's
even
why
the
we could go on
right?
for how long with Robins if you start opening up
because
the
you
alternate
have
universe?
Because you have Carrie Kelly from Dark Knight, and you have like Robin 3000, and you have like fucking Robin the Toy Wonder from DC 1 Million, and you have like
cool one, though.
There's a ton of them. Like sure,
I like that, Robin the Toy
All I'm
Wonder.
just saying, it seems
great.
to desensitize the reader from, in my opinion, Robins when you have like 40 years for the first one, 20 years for the second one, and in the past decade we've had 3. It's sort of like the Green Lantern thing. Like, look, Jeff Johns, I love Jeff Johns, but he has to introduce another human Green Lantern. Like when Hal Jordan was the only human Green Lantern, and then it's like, holy fuck. There's this new human Green Lantern. His name is Guy Gardner, the second one.
But you're talking.
And then it's like, okay,
that's in the
John
60s.
Stewart. Oh well,
and that's in the 80s.
We're adding another human Green Lantern. Well, why are we doing that? Oh, well, we're not going to talk about that
because it's cool. It's hip.
The 90s are hip. Superman's got a mullet. We are going to introduce Kyle Rayner, the newest Green Lantern, because we have this other.
Because
Hal went
fucking crazy and wiped everybody out.
Exactly. You got to
that was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Thanks for bringing that up.
No, it was, but it just like it seems like the first one lasts for so long, and then they're just like, oh god, to keep up sales and readership, we got to like introduce these guys so much more.
This has been
quickly.
DC's MO for years, as you have the Flash family, the Superman family, with Superboy and Supergirl and Steel and Eradicator and Cyborg Superman.
So it's
whether
the
good or
Robin
bad.
family now?
Basically, you have the Bat family, you have all the Batgirls and Batwomen, you have Batman, pretty much solely Batman, and you have all the Robins. You have all the different Teen Titan related characters. You have the kids that become the adults, and there's a
I'm just
growth
saying
in it.
that it loses its charm after.
It doesn't lose its charm. It really doesn't lose its charm. Let's talk about
Totally
you disagree. You like Wolverine, right?
No, I mean
you love Wolverine, don't you? Tell me.
I haven't bought a Wolverine book. Abstractly,
you've never been into Wolverine?
I like the character Wolverine, but I haven't bought a Wolverine book in forever. I've bought infinitely more Batman books than Wolverine books.
Okay. No, that's awesome. But like Wolverine, I mean, it's the same kind of like character like dichotomy as like Wolverine and Shadowcat. And then it was like Wolverine and...
Totally wrong.
Yeah. No?
No. Wolverine, you look at Dakin and you look at X-23. Wolverine's fucking family didn't branch out until a decade ago.
I think that Wolverine
as opposed to Batman,
always had this
Robin's
like little mentor, the mentee chick that was a girl.
There's like 10...
Omar's right. He always had Wolverine. Always has.
I thought you were a Wolverine reader. I'm sorry.
This kid that's kind of following him around. Like it started with
Omar's right.
It started
with
Wolverine
had that.
Hold on.
Pride.
It was Kitty Pryde. It was Shadowcat. Then it was Jubilee. You had what the heck? There was like the one that was in his ongoing series. I can't remember her name now. I'm totally blanking on her name. He had like that little robot chick that was, or the girl that was following around like the robot Wolverine, but she followed him around for a while. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying it's the same, but you know,
it's a good handful though. I mean, it's a lot.
Damian has been around a little bit shorter of amount of time as Robin than Jason Todd was. And Jason Todd became like something totally different. You know,
and he's already dead.
Yeah, well, no, he's alive now. But,
well, Damian, I think.
Yeah,
is
Damian's
what he meant.
dead. Yeah. Anyway, if
Damian wasn't dead. Damian killed himself. Like that's what happened.
If people want him to be around, if people want Carrie Kelly or people want a new Robin, there will always be a Robin.
If you want to get technical, kind of.
Right? Hold on. To quote Grant Morrison, Batman and Robin will never die. That's from Batman and Robin.
Look, I'm not asking them to die. I'm just saying there's no desensitization from the readers who went 40 years with their first Robin and then 20 years with their first Robin. It's fucking exponential. And then 5 years for the next Robin, and then fucking now in the last decade we've had at least 3 Robins, and who knows how many more. I mean, Carrie Kelly, what the fuck?
Sometimes I count sheep to desensitize because I'm like, oh, not yet. I'm like, one sheep.
So
two sheep.
I imagine that'd be girls.
Okay, so earlier today,
I just go,
or actually yesterday, but then earlier today we got all the information for it. DC also announced their Trinity War, which is the big, massive, giant crossover that we've been building up for in DC for many years now. Except it's a 6-issue crossover between the 3 Justice League books, and not a big, massive crossover at all. And in fact, the lead up to the big, massive crossover. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they?
What a surprise!
Did they back out? Did they forget what they solicited? I mean, what?
I'm glad we're talking about this because we haven't talked very much about DC this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for bringing this up, Ryan.
This is a big news story.
Yeah, big news story.
Sorry, Marvel doesn't have any big news this week.
Well,
or most
just
weeks.
because they're better. They need to make
I think
Agents Robin every other week.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a pretty big announcement. Joss Whedon. I mean,
that's
I think
already a real thing. Like that's not new.
no.
What? You haven't said it once. This is the first time it's been announced on your
What's not new?
podcast.
The S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show?
No, it's not the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV shield TV show. No, it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Ming-Na Wen's on that shit.
Yeah.
Ming-Na Wen, what's up?
I've already known about all this.
No,
We've never talked about this ever.
we talked about S.H.I.E.L.D. the TV show. We didn't talk about like the actual like casting, the characters, and the subplots.
But you're right.
I mean, sure.
It's
It's on, I'm sorry, it's on CBR. It's not on Bleeding Cool. We don't want to talk about it.
Has this been on TV yet?
No.
No, like just like the Superman movies hasn't been on the movie theaters yet. So what's the fucking point in talking about it?
Yeah, like I don't mind talking a little bit of the show, but when you actually see something or they write it or they make it, like I'll talk. Like I don't know.
Yeah, the cast. The
talk
cast,
the
you can't really do anything until you actually see the show.
I mean, you can, but it's just they announced the show. It's happening. It's already been. It's been happening.
They released the first image from Winter Soldier today. Woohoo!
Which is going to be cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like solicited info. I was like, this is actually coming up, and it is weird that they solicited, or they said, oh, we're gonna have this big Trinity War. It's gonna be the big event, and yada yada yada. Maybe I just read into it. I have no idea. But apparently, it's not a big event. It's the lead into the big event. So okay, that's cool.
I'm
so excited,
really,
but whatever.
I mean, So you're saying You're saying Justice League Dark, Justice League, and Justice League America?
Yeah.
I mean, Justice League Dark will destroy all of them.
Yeah, well, it's possible. I mean, but it's just a little crossover.
Heroclix, Mystics,
Yeah,
hello.
Mystics. We're there. We're just
John Constantine, you can't prop control.
yeah, no prop control for you. Mystics, take your damage.
So someone is going to die, first of all, which sets up the big event.
I thought you meant on the podcast.
No. Oh, it might.
I think it's going to be Bryce or Omar.
Yeah,
It's not going to end. It's not going to end wrapped in a bow, Jeff Johns says on, I believe this is USA Today. Something really, really major happens. It kicks off some pretty crazy stuff at the end of August. So end of August, beginning of September, which is that the 2-year? Was it end of August or end of September?
September. We had the last week of August Justice League launch, and then everything started in September.
Right. So this is the 2-year. It'll end and start something at the 2-year mark for the New 52. So the first event, the first big event.
Who do you think is going to die?
Out of this cast, of the people that are on this picture, I mean, I'm assuming it's someone here. I'll go over the list here. I mean, it's all the big guns. It's the Trinity of Sin, which is Pandora, the Question, and
well, they're not going to die because they still need to do their event.
The Dead Man, John Constantine's on here. What's his face? There's a female Adam.
Dead Man dies every other.
Well, he's dead already. That's right.
There's a female Dr. Light on here, which is kind of random.
Is she Asian?
You can't really tell. Element Woman's on here, or Element Girl, whatever they're calling her now.
Yeah.
New Fire, the real Firestorm's back. Madame Xanadu. If they kill anyone, they're going to kill Madame Xanadu.
That was one I was thinking about. The other one I was thinking was...
And Zatanna's back in her fishnets.
My guess is John Johns. I think Martian Manhunter's going to die.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he ties together a lot of the books.
I don't think they know what to do with him.
Yeah.
He's bopped around. They had him in Stormwatch.
Well, they got him in like a fucking... What's that shit? A kilt now. Like, that's just weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see them doing that.
Look, I just think that Martian Manhunter would make way more headlines, which is what sells books, rather than Madame Xanadu. I mean, come on, here.
Yeah, plot-wise, Madame Xanadu has been sort of this, I know what's coming, this stuff happening, blah, blah, blah. So almost you can see
She's
her...
supposedly preparing by bringing the Justice League Dark together.
Yeah, so from story-wise, I could, but if they want to kill someone big, you kill Martian Manhunter. But didn't they do that in Final Crisis?
Yes,
he got
they
killed
all
by...
the fucking time.
Yeah.
Did he die in Final Crisis?
Yeah,
and then they brought him back in Blackest Night.
He got killed by that fire guy. What the hell's his name? No. It was some old ass...
It was so like anticlimactic his death to me, I guess.
Well, that's because it was just...
Who was it?
Like a panel or two. It wasn't like...
It's the guy from Run. DC Comics.
Run so far away.
No,
Run. Book or something?
Well, if it is starting something, they might kill one of the Trinity.
Crisis. Sorry, I know twittering is so...
I know. Not like Batman, Superman. I'm talking about like kill Pandora or Phantom Stranger.
Looking up stuff on Google on the podcast is so exciting. Human Flame. That's the guy's name. He was the Human Flame. He was one of the guys Grant Morrison brought back in Final Crisis. He's like an old-ass DC villain that was in like 12 issues ever, maybe, like in the 50s. He was like one of the original...
Martian Manhunter can survive Darkseid, but not the Human Flame.
Well, because he's empowered.
Watch out.
Because the Human Flame gets empowered with the anti-life equation.
Absolutely. I was being totally serious.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? We want to wrap up. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. television show. I'm very excited. Officially announced, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. They casted a bunch of characters. Yes. Hopefully that comes out soon.
Yeah, like in the next week, we're going to be watching that shit. At least it's going to feel like that.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like that. Because right now, we don't need to watch anything except for Game of Thrones.
That's not even September. That's not even a September launch.
Can we talk about Arrested Development on Netflix?
That's going to be... that's got to be a next summer or next year launch. There's
are you excited about the new announcements for Infinite? Was it Infinite Crisis? What's the fucking Infinite Club? The toy line for Matty Collector.
I don't fucking pay attention.
Oh, okay. So
I get my subscription and then
and then you get it,
and then I get it.
So like Red Hood, Huntress. What else is coming out? Some other cool shit. All I know, those are two I was super excited about.
Cool.
Because I'm wondering if it's going to be the New 52 Red Hood.
No, cool.
Because it seems like they're throwing out everything New 52 for Matty.
Yeah, yeah. And the quality on the Mattel figures have been pretty decent on the subscription stuff, but it's like, I'm just,
yeah.
I don't know if I'll keep going. I might. We'll see. We'll see when it comes up for renewal. See how I feel. We'll see what the exclusive figure is.
You're not going to get a renewal. They're just going to charge you.
they just keep charging forever.
No, they just keep charging you until you call them and cancel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Even when you're...
I had a renewal last time.
You had to renew your credit card expiration date. That's what you had to renew. They were going to charge you. They just needed your new credit card expiration date.
Maybe.
Omar's looked around and was just like, well, you stupid motherfucker.
He knows. He's a toy guy.
Let the credit card expire.
Okay, Ryan.
Well, when I hear whatever the new... when they did the new one, the first year was... the exclusive was... what's his face? Metron.
Yeah.
And
the chair.
Yeah, and this last one was...
Wait.
Monsieur.
Didn't you get
Milan.
2 shitty Metrons?
Yeah, I did. The second one was worse, but whatever. And then who was this year's? Was it LED? No, he was just a bonus figure. He wasn't the subscription figure. Oh, Phantom Stranger. I think Phantom Stranger was a subscription figure for this year. So, it's good. They're all good figures. I just don't have any room for them, so they just sit in my closet, which sucks.
But yeah, Matty Collector guys out there, if you're thinking about stopping, just let your credit card expire.
That doesn't stop them. They still find a way.
They can't charge it if it's expired.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
All right, guys.
Let me guess. You went to fucking watch fucking Jurassic Park in 3D, didn't you?
I didn't see it in 3D, but yes, it is the Jurassic Park. I saw it yesterday. 11th time in the movie theater.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, it's still okay. I mean, it's all about Jeff Goldblum, right?
Oh, Jeff Goldblum's amazing.
Oh, that's Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson's great too. Every person in that movie's great.
What's the fucking name from? I feel bad that I don't remember from Seinfeld. Come on,
yeah,
big boy.
Yeah,
what's
Wade Knight.
Wayne Knight.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Amazing as well. Yeah. By the way, how is it? I know this is probably for the Geek Box.
Okay.
How is it for those of us that watched it on DVD and we said, "Oh God, they look like robots. That's fucking awkward." When I saw it originally, I was like, "Holy shit, I'm 9 years old or whatever the fuck," and this looks amazing. Yeah. And then I watched it when I was 19 years old, and I was oh God, they fucking look like robots.
I still think it looks amazing. There's one or two scenes where the CG's a little.
My question for you is, but for the viewers that you want to sell more tickets to your favorite trilogy,
I still think this Jurassic Park is up there with Star Wars as a monumental leap forward in visual
that doesn't fucking answer
technology.
What the fuck? That doesn't answer my question at all. I'm saying, does it keep up with the times?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think the effects still look incredible. I mean, if you watch Star Wars and you're able to, the original 3 movies, and you're able to kind of just look at it from the perspective of when these were made, the effects are incredible. And in fact, I think the effects in Star Wars and Jurassic Park are better than most effects these days because they're actually real shit for the most part. It's a lot of animatronics, a lot of models.
Seconded.
And they look, but it
still looks real.
Yeah, because it is real. That's why. I mean, I love Star Trek, and I love fucking all. I'm sure the new Star Wars movies will look amazing, but you're looking at a cartoon. Like it's a lot harder.
Who's gonna be the next Samuel L. Jackson of our generation that has just gone through the most shittiest roles in every fucking movie for the last 10 to 15 years until he finally breaks in with that one role.
He was great in Jurassic Park. He was. I really liked him. He had a great role in Jurassic Park.
You have to look at who's in their mid-30s and has already been in 20 to 30 movies. That's who you need to look at for Sam Jackson's
before he breaks out.
Counterpart.
And Tyler Perry movies don't count.
Oh, God. All right.
Are you just saying it because he's black? You're so racist.
Before we enter...
Samuel L. Jackson of our times. I figure you were talking about a black tough man.
Before we enter...
Wow.
That's weird.
Okay, let's get off this topic.
And Whale Tail is not weird?
No, Whale Tail's fucking incredible.
No, this isn't the Jurassic Park podcast, so we're going to go ahead and...
I'm an ass man. What can I say?
You weren't going to say anything about Flash?
Thank you.
Artist?
Yeah, time. Carmine
I totally
and Infantino.
forgot. Yes. On I believe Wednesday.
That was orgasming for those of you that
he orgasmed. He jizzed when fucking Jeff Johns jumped on his thread and said the same thing. Like he's like, oh yeah, sure, yes, Ryan.
That's true. And then Grant Morrison.
Look at that smile. He's turning red.
And then Grant Morrison liked Jeff Johns' status. And then Ryan was like,
and then
my God.
He was like,
okay. Anyway, very sad. I actually did forget to mention this. One of the most influential and I would say one of the most important comic artists of all time, Carmine Infantino, actually passed away on Wednesday, although I guess it didn't get reported Thursday for some reason.
R.I.P.
He was, I believe, 87. I could pull it up. He is actually the artist that was involved in the original recreation of Barry Allen of The Flash, which started, this is something for you, Bryce, which was the start of DC's regeneration of their superheroes, which caused the Justice League, which caused Marvel to create the Fantastic Four. So without the Flash, there would be no modern comic books, superhero comic franchises as we know, because it all comes from when they started the Flash.
Well,
for DC.
We can thank God that Carmine
Infantino
existed. Otherwise, we would have no Fantastic Four
and no Marvel Universe.
No Doctor Doom? Oh my God, dude. No Doctor Doom, I'd be so sad.
Although I disagree, love the Justice League way more than the Fantastic Four. Although I love the Fantastic Four.
Just the success of Flash caused them to rejuvenate all their superhero characters, which then caused Marvel to be like, oh shit, look at this Justice League money. We want a piece of that action. And that's where the Marvel Universe came from.
So let me ask you a question that follows up with that. Did the success of DC movies cause Marvel to want to make movies?
Absolutely.
Way more money?
Batman money? Dude, that Batman money, big money. Superman? Absolutely. Marvel was chasing the movies for decades.
I'm so sorry. I have a terrible memory. Which one of them is making more money now?
I believe if you account for inflation, probably DC still. Sorry Bryce.
You account for inflation.
Sorry, Bryce. Let me do that.
Inflation? Maybe the inflation of your fucking ballsack to say that. What the fuck?
Okay, anyway.
That is totally
let's bring it back to Carmine.
Anyway.
Let's say that his covers, like,
he
was so iconic. Like, I can think about 10 of them already in my mind that were instantly, all of them were just copycatted that whole year.
Yeah.
Flash's Two Worlds.
I don't mean to derail. Yeah. He was fucking great.
Yeah. No,
his visual imagination.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think people give kind of Silver Age DC some shit, and especially when Marvel came around with Jack Kirby and all these guys, and it really the energy changed. DC's guys tend to be a little more house style, tend to be a little more old school, but Carmine Infantino was one of these guys that I think his quality of work and his lines and just the way he angled the Flash and it was the perfect art for the book. There's a lot of DC art in the 60s and 50s that were pretty terrible. But he was one of those guys where I think if you look back at it now, it's like, no, this shit was way ahead of everyone's game.
Yeah. Look at his cross shading.
It was just
John Byrne bit that shit off him.
Everyone did. It was just you don't get guys like Neil Adams without Carmine Infantino. I mean, that's where these guys came from. Neil Adams didn't come from Jack Kirby. Neil Adams came from guys like Carmine Infantino. And that goes to Jim Lee and all those guys.
Romita came from Kirby.
Yeah, no, he did. Well, Romita came from Romita Sr., who was a contemporary of Kirby. So, yeah, but no, I really think Carmine Infantino is one of the most important artists of all time, and it's sad to see him go, and I hope in his passing he maybe gets a little more recognition. My little artwork on my weekly
avatar
pick we have at the store is the Carmine Infantino Flash picture. So I love him. So he's incredible. So very sad to see him go.
I want an omnibus.
Flash omnibus of his stuff. Oh, that'd be great. Maybe we'll get it. They did the Green Lantern one, so maybe. All right, we were going to head and wrap up. If you like this podcast, go to www.geekbox.net, and you can listen to this episode as well as all our other episodes, or find us on iTunes. Go find us on iTunes and rate us on iTunes, or at comicsconspiracy.biz, our newly redone site that looks a little bit better, I think.
Did you get that bug fixed?
Yeah, I think everything's fixed now. You can go to forums.geekbox.net and talk to us on the Comicspiracy thread there. Go talk to us in the comic forum. Been pretty quiet recently, so come liven that up a little bit. You can send us an email if you want. I actually deleted, I think, every email accidentally out of my email account. So if you sent me one in the last few weeks, maybe resend it, because I deleted a ton of emails accidentally, and I couldn't figure a way to bring them back. So the Comicspiracy at geekbox.net. You can go to Brock's blog, conspiratorbrock.com, Comics and Decline, that is whatever this guy's name is, Omar's blog, InfiniteLongbox.com, that's the Infinite Longbox podcast that Charlie's on. Go listen to them talk about comic stuff because they actually read them. You can go to I read them too, it's just,
delayed.
It's just
you're worse than the trade guys.
I'm catching up, dude. I'm catching up. What am I saying? Yeah, what else do I got? Twitter. Oh, yeah, we're all on Twitter. Oh, Bryce, you got to pimp something? What are you pimping? Just your Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pimp your Twitter. Brock Sager is Brock Sager on Twitter. Comics and Duckine is Omar. Lice.
Lice? That's your new nickname.
Hey, Itchy and Scratchy.
Lice Larsen.
Itchy and Scratchy.
Larsen Bryce.
Larsen.
Wow. Wow. I love you too, Ryan.
We still need to get rid of the carpet. We got
Larsen. That's Larsen with an E-N. Bryce
Larsen
with a Y.
Bryce. He says Bryce.
Bryce. Is it Lice Brarson?
Larsen Bryce is Bryce Larsen. It's a tongue twister, I swear to God. Insanity and Chaos is Charlie. Oh, yeah, Toby's on here. Toby XI is Toby. He should be back next week. He's in Vegas right now. Did I say my name? I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan.
Say my name.
What else we got? That's it, I think. Yeah.
The 20th anniversary sale.
Facebook.com/comicsconspiracy. Facebook.com/geekbox or the Geekbox. I don't remember which one it is. And on April, whatever these days are, 19th? Yeah, the 19th, 20th, and 21st. That's Friday through Sunday here at Comic Conspiracy. We are celebrating our 20th anniversary sale, the first of many sales and hopefully many events.
Yeah.
Come down. We're going to have a lot of cheap books, cheap 50-cent comics outside. Big discounts on trade paperbacks, back issues, single issues. We don't normally do mail order on sales. I get a lot of questions about that. But if you are in the area, come down because it'll be sweet. Ton of new stock. So good times. I think that's it. All right. We'll catch everyone next week.